All right, so I want to talk about social media today, and then also I want to talk about that go-to thing in Python that I was just glancing over last time. We'll get to that today, all right? So that will help you on your next programming assignment too. But yeah, I want to start with social media because probably the vast majority of us in this class have at least one social media account, so we should talk about that, all right? And the ethical dilemmas behind it. So yeah, on social media, we post stuff, and a lot of things are public. So many things are public. You can make your accounts private, of course, like I do that. But sometimes there's like some default settings for like friends of friends, like people you don't know but are friends of your own friends. They can see your stuff still, like that's a thing. So more things than you might think are public, and maybe this lecture will help you go, or it will influence you to go back to your privacy settings on your social media accounts. All right, so yeah, what I want to talk about today are these kinds of questions, like what are some issues with social media, like because there are of course issues as well as benefits, and if we're going to use it, well, most of us are using it. How do we use it right? I guess. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look at some dilemmas, some issues. I think this one's from your book. So if you post stuff publicly, anybody can see it, including people that you may not want to see those things. So, for example, your employer can monitor you. They can monitor your traffic of like your work computer, like all of the stuff that you're sending across the internet. And so even before social media, even if you're not doing social media stuff, you can be monitored by your employers. Do we understand that? Just on your computer. It's insane. All right, what they can do if they give you a work laptop like the school does. So I don't do anything personal on this school laptop because I don't trust. I don't trust the people in charge. I don't know. But if you got a work computer, what can they do? Like, they can kind of look at your screen all day long if they want to. They can even record it without you knowing. So that's insane. This is completely different to like the way an employer would be looking at you and monitoring you in the past, right? Before computers, before like this everything being interconnected, it's just like if your boss is in the room, then you have to look like you're busy, right? But now you can be constantly monitored. What can they do? What can they do to you? The IT department can install stuff that will look at your screen without you knowing. Look at your screen. That's the thing. It's like they're recording it just like I'm recording this lecture. They can track every single thing that you type into the keyboard anywhere. Track. So technically they can get all your passwords if they want to. Track all the stuff you type on your keyboard. You can install programs that do that. Do we know that? Was that a surprise to us? Like your employers can do that to you. Crazy, and they can look in even when they're not in the room. So keep that in mind. Completely not possible before, but now it is, unfortunately. And then coming back to social media, like if you're going to apply for a job, you don't have a job yet, people can search your name. Like you can search my name. I'm on Google. Hopefully it's good things only. But like stuff like that, that's a thing, right? People can Google you. A lot of the time, like your name is mostly unique in the world, and like you'll pop up to the top, like all of your accounts, including your social media accounts. And if those are public in any way, then suddenly somebody who wants to hire you can see maybe some details that you don't want them to see. So just keep that in mind. So here are some examples from the textbook, some funny ones. A school district, back in the day, like a decade ago or so, whenever they were talking about it, they fired a teacher because she posted a photo, maybe on Facebook or Instagram, of her just like drinking in a bar. She was, of course, over 21, totally legal, but they fired her for that, maybe just because that was public. Does that seem right? I guess as an employer, you're trying to like make everyone respect you, or you're trying to like make your workplace look good. And so if you have public pictures of you doing anything at all, not perfectly professional, I guess is that grounds for firing somebody? I don't really think so. But yeah, maybe like, when the parents get involved, they all start a revolt. So maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back to the book and find out. But that's something you have to worry about now. It's unfortunate. So I'm never going to post any pictures of me in bars, obviously. So crazy. All right. What else? This one's really funny. So a sheriff fired a deputy sheriff, which I assume is the person right underneath the sheriff in theory. And the deputy sheriff, I guess, didn't like the main sheriff. And the deputy sheriff clicked like on a Facebook campaign page for somebody running against the current sheriff in the next coming election. That's funny, right? So that is something that was apparently public. Maybe they were friends on Facebook and that's how they saw, or they weren't. And it was just like the deputy sheriff didn't check his privacy settings or something. But he got fired for that. Does that seem right? Is that allowable? What do we think? It's a bit more of a gray area than this one. This one seems like this is silly. Why did they do that? But this, it's kind of like you're going against your boss at that point. You're openly going against your boss, right? So maybe that is grounds for firing. I'm not sure. But also at the same time, it's free speech, right? Liking a Facebook post is free speech, assuming you did it on your own time, right? While you weren't on the clock. Interesting. All right, so that's something to worry about. All right, so hopefully that gets your mind turning. Have you read posts like this from old people on like Facebook? They say things like this: Facebook does not have my permission to share photos or messages. Have you seen that kind of stuff before? I've totally seen it. Maybe we don't have Facebook accounts, but that's totally a thing, especially on Facebook, because that's where all the old people are these days, right? That does not do anything. First of all, I hope we understand that just like posting a message on Facebook or Instagram saying something that seems legal does not do anything at all. All right, this is unenforceable. All right, you gave permission to Instagram, to Facebook, to share your photos and your messages, to control those, to have like possession of them, just by using Facebook, just by using Instagram. All right, so this was all written somewhere. It was written in the terms of service. Did we read this? Terms of service. If you look closely, it's all spelled out there so that they can't get sued for it. So it's all secretly there, but you got to read it. And nobody does, right? Terms of service totally allow this. They have permission to like reuse all of your text, train AI models on all of the posts that you make, all of the images that you post to Facebook, stuff like that. It's crazy. So that's the thing, all right? So just keep that in mind. You have no control over what the service does to your stuff, how they own your data. You can't give up that ownership unless you delete your account, maybe, all right? So, okay, another fun one is Duolingo. I like to learn languages, so I have a Duolingo account, and my streak is way too long. Duolingo, this is a fun idea, and it kind of wraps back around to the idea of privacy. Duolingo used to not have ads. Were we around back then? You remember the time before the ads on Duolingo? I don't have a pro account. I just block the ads. But they used to not have any ads, and what their model was, their pie in the sky dream was they were going to make money through people translating, the people who were learning a language, translating little snippets of stuff. So like maybe a news company, for example, like an American news company or something, they have a news article, and they give a few sentences to Duolingo, a few chunks of the article to Duolingo, and then like they pick maybe this piece, for example. And so they want to translate the whole article to Spanish or something. And so they give all those little chunks of the article to people who were learning Spanish, which is so fun. And then they have a bunch of Spanish learners or something translate those sentences. And if enough people agree, like this person thought it translated to that, this person translated to that, if enough people agreed on the translation, then they gave it back to the news agency, and they're like, this is the correct translation of those sentences. And they made money that way. That's kind of cool. That's noble, I think. But sadly, it did not earn them enough money. And so they changed the way that their site works. They don't have this anymore, sadly. Now they just show ads to people who don't have the pro account. So sad. And so, yeah, that leads into ads and like the idea of them being able to track you across the internet, right? Maybe you search for something on Amazon and then you see an ad for it on Duolingo later. Have we run into that before? I've totally run into that, right? Instagram especially. Like I search for something on Amazon, and then I suddenly see a million ads for that on Instagram. So that is unfortunate. I don't really like ads, but we should talk about those. So let's talk about Google, because that's a place where ads are a lot. Okay, I want to say right now, I got to follow the money. Google is not a search company. We use it to search. We use it to write our emails and things. But that is not how Google makes any money at all. Google makes all of their money, the vast majority of their money, by selling ads to people who want to display their links at the top of your searches. Okay? So you gotta follow the money. This is very interesting and weird. Maybe unfortunate. So, all right, the goal of any company, especially a publicly traded company, like on the stock market, like Google, they want to make a ton of money. What are they going to do? Well, if their money comes from ads, then it follows that they want people to click on those ads. If that's how they make money, they're going to try to get you to click on those ads. Yes? So what does that mean for you, the user of Google who's trying to search for stuff? Any thoughts? If they want you to see ads and they want you to click on ads and you're searching for stuff, what does that mean in terms of your experience using Google? Do you get a better experience, a worse experience? What happens? What are our thoughts? Say that again? Yeah, you see a lot of ads. They're at the top, right? We all see those like sponsored, that word. Any other thoughts? Are the ads useful? Are those good links at the top? The sponsored section? Yeah. So it's kind of up in the air. It's just like whoever's paid the most money or the links up top. Sometimes it is the right thing that you really wanted. Sometimes it is like the website you really did want to go to. They happen to have bought an ad for that search query. But sometimes it's just some random company that's just trying to get you to click on their links, and they're not as good as like the main competitor that you were searching for. Okay, so yeah, good thoughts. So what does that mean for us? So in general, you might have worse results at the top of the page where you expect to see the best results. Right? So you might end up seeing worse results at the top of the page. Not to mention the fact that maybe Google is sharing your search queries with other partners, and so then you're going to suddenly see ads in places other than Google for the things that you're searching for. So that's the main two things I wanted to say. So yeah, Google is an ad company. It's not at all a search company. That is, you got to follow that money. Apple is kind of the flip side of that. All right, have we heard that Apple is like cares about your privacy? Have we seen like articles about that before? Maybe. So that is kind of a thing. Apple, where do they make their money? If you think about it, if you go read their shareholder reports or whatever, they make most of their money by selling hardware. Like you buy the Macs, you buy the iPhones, and just like everything else, like they make their software for free for you for the most part. So if they're selling hardware, not software, for a decent amount of money, then it's okay for them to be a privacy-focused company, right? Because it doesn't really eat into the money that they make. Does that kind of make sense? So I believe that Apple cares about our privacy because it helps, right? It helps them make money by saying, we care about your privacy, because it has nothing to do with the way they make money. Okay? That's the whole point. But Google, maybe they're evil now. They track you. They show you ads. But Apple, they don't really need to. It's like they have a completely different revenue source. And so I more or less believe them that they care about encryption and stuff like that. All right. So when in doubt, I highly encourage you to if you want to use a company's product, go look at if they're publicly traded on the stock market, they have to release quarterly earnings reports and they have to break it down, all their money. When in doubt, go follow that. Go look at and track and see what they're making their money from, because it may surprise you. All right. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, it's like software versus hardware. Can't really sell ads to put on a Mac or something. All right. Yeah, does that make sense? Any questions about that? I'm so sorry that this is the way that the world works these days, but we have to live in it. All right. So yeah, I guess a further moral of this story is like when we're using free stuff, like we make our Instagram accounts, we make our Gmail accounts, we use Google without like paying for Google Pro, which doesn't even exist, right? When something's free, you're the one being bought and sold. You are the product, okay? I hope that makes sense. So what does that mean for you? Like everything you give to that free service, like all of the pictures you upload to Instagram, all of your information that you like send to people on your Gmail accounts, on your Google emails, stuff like that. Everything you search for in your Google accounts or just like through your computer, even if you're not logged in, it's being captured and it's being sold to people who want that information. All right? Or it's like your pictures are being used to train AI models or something. So it's all being used for something because you are the product if something's free. All right? That's how they're going to make their money. And so all that stuff, again, is just spelled out in the terms of service. Like they're saying that we're going to take these things from you and you're not going to sue us for it just by using our service. So nobody reads those, of course. There is, luckily, a website that is trying to help us. So if you can, please go to this website, tosdr.org. It's a pun on TLDR. Have you heard that phrase before? It's short for too long, didn't read. That's just the thing that you see on the internet sometimes. And so this is like terms of service didn't read.org. And what it's going to do is it's going to summarize the terms of service for many popular companies. All right, so please go there. I'm going to have us do an activity on this page. All right. So let's see. It's in dark mode. Can I make it light mode? Sorry, I guess it's going to be dark today. It used to be light mode. Cool. So if you just scroll through this page, tosdr.org, it's like terms of service didn't read. It's like it's going to summarize what is written in the terms of service that, of course, none of us read for different companies like Facebook, Amazon, and they give them grades, and I assume grade E is the worst grade. So Facebook, like we don't like Facebook because they do these things. Amazon, Reddit, also grade E. Wikipedia, grade B. That's kind of nice. And you keep scrolling, you see all these like popular things that you probably used. Even Apple is grade D, but better than E, I guess. And you can click on these and like view the details, and it tells you more. Like it tells you some bad stuff, it tells you some like maybe okay, maybe not okay stuff, and some good stuff, and some just like random information that's neither good nor bad. So yeah, what I want you to do is I'm going to get you into groups, and we're gonna look at some of these companies together. Okay. So hopefully you made it to the website. Here's my activity. All right. So please go to tosdr.org with the people sitting next to you. You'll get on each of your computers, and what I'd like you to do is search Google. Of course, they're going to steal this thing that you search, but that's okay. Please search Google for the following. Just say random number, like it'll roll a die for you or something. Just say random number between 1 and 8 on Google. Just elect a leader of your group to do that. And like apparently my random number was 8 this time. If you refresh the page, you get a different random number. So here it was 6. Let's say that 6 was the number. And what you'll do with your group is go to company number 6 on the homepage. So you'll count it like this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So apparently my group will be on doing YouTube. So you click on YouTube to get all the details and just scroll through this. Start reading it either together or separately, and then come together and talk about what you noticed. All right. Does that activity make sense to us? So do that, and then please go to, like that's the company that you'll click on with your random number, and on the Written Nice page, please, I'll go there, and we'll stop attendance after that, so please do attendance if you haven't already. Let me clear it out. Again, you can elect a leader to write something, but go to the company that you chose with your random number and read through all the stuff after you click on the View Details, and just go and write on the Written Nice page at least two things that you saw on that page about that company that you saw there and you didn't expect to see. It could be good surprise or bad surprise, doesn't matter. And I'd like you to do some analysis as well. Explain why. Okay, this thing was surprising and it was good. It was a good surprise because I didn't know this company cared so much about my privacy. Or it was horrible because I didn't know this data was shared with this many people. Something like that. Okay? Does the activity make sense? So please get together with the people sitting next to you, pick a random number, and go to that company, read about the good and the bad of that company, and write down what you learned, please. Let's see. Let's see what we can find. I assume a lot of these are going to be companies that you have interacted with. So as a group, you're going to pick one company. You're finding some good stuff. I'll give you a few more minutes to write down what you're seeing. All right, I'll give you another minute or so to complete your thought. I hear a little bit more typing, so I'll give you one more minute, and then we'll see what we found. All right, that's mostly my timer. There it goes. Let's see. Let's see what we thought. All right, let's see what we found. Hopefully, it was a bunch of random different companies. But looks like the first group got Khan Academy. What grade did that one get? A D. Oh no. So let's see. Let's see what was unfortunate. What do we learn about Khan Academy? Harvest your personal data. So you're going to that place to learn stuff, and somehow they're taking personal data from you. That's horrible. Collects data it doesn't need. Yeah, it doesn't need it. You're trying to learn things. That's so silly. Intrudes on personal privacy. Very good. The service still keeps personal data after a request for erasure of the personal data. Is that even legal? That's unfortunate. That maybe that's legal if they write it down. That's really bad. That is so sad. But hopefully you don't give too much data to Khan Academy as you're learning stuff. Just remember to not put your real name or something then. This means that whatever data it gathers is theirs to keep. Very surprising. Yeah, they don't respect data privacy. Very good thoughts. I'm sorry we had to learn that today. Next group got Wikipedia. Okay, it has a much better rating than Khan Academy, right? B versus D, but still it can do some bad stuff. They can do some weird things. So they collect your information and take advantage of your account and legal actions. What does that mean? They take advantage of your legal. They can sue you if you have an account on Wikipedia. Is that what it was?
I think it's more of you can't sue them in the case that
I see. That is too bad. I guess that's kind of what you want in that situation, probably. Though you want them to be able to say what they need to say, even if it's like if it's the truth, then it's not a good truth. They need to put it there. So I guess that kind of makes sense. But that is interesting that they spell that out. Nice. Got another Khan Academy. They can delete your account and all of your stuff. I don't know. There's probably a subscription, a paid thing for Khan Academy, right? And that probably ruins things if they can delete things. That's not good. Yeah, can't get it back. Reduce time to take legal action against the company. So if you want to sue them, you have to hurry up and sue them, it sounds like. Interesting. Yeah, that is good analysis too. Oh man. All right. I got one with YouTube. Deleted videos are not really deleted, just marked as invisible, but it's kind of like what was it? Kind of like Khan Academy, keeping stuff even though you thought it was gone. That's no fun and no fair. Nice. Let's do a couple more. Let's do 42 and 43. So Reddit has a bad rating too, right? E. I have a Reddit account. What does that mean? So they can track you using GPS location, probably to show you relevant ads to your location. That's too bad. Yeah, nobody needs to know where it's good. And they don't let you have moral rights, which isn't fair for those trying to preserve the integrity of the work. This word comes up in a lot of those pages, and I have to look it up every semester. Does somebody know? Can somebody explain to me what moral rights are? I think it's a legal term. Did anybody look it up as we were reading about this? Rights that protect the relationship between an author and their work. So if you type something, usually that means it's automatically copyrighted. But by using these services, they make you give that up so that they have control over what you're in. Does that make sense? That is sad. So there's that. Good thoughts. And then DuckDuckGo is it's a search company. DuckDuckGo is like a competitor to Google, And so they try to be more privacy focused, and they have a much better grade than Google. So still not an A, but a B is not as bad. So what about DuckDuckGo? Maybe you want to use DuckDuckGo instead of Google from now on. So yeah, you don't have to register. That's a good thing. So maybe Group 43 learned about that. Maybe now we'll use it. But what's a bad thing? Let's see. Instead of asking directly, the service will assume your consent merely from your usage. Interesting. Consent to what, though? Do we know what the consent was? Are they showing you some sort of indirect ad? The service will assume your consent merely from your usage, and you can expand this. Infers your acceptance from your continued usage. Okay, so if they change their own terms of service, that's what it means. If they change their own terms of service, they're not going to ask you again, do you want to keep using DuckDuckGo or terms have changed? Which I guess is kind of hard to do, to track like who agreed to which version or something like that, because then you would have to make an account. You don't have to make one if you use this. So I guess I can kind of understand it, but that is unfortunate. At the same time, that's something we have to worry about. Good. So nice. I think let's look at just those today. So thank you for your thoughts. I'm sorry if you learned some weird and horrible information, but now you know better if you're using these services. All right. I promise to stop this there. All right. So I hope that was fun. I think it's fun to look into that. Maybe we'll read the terms of service from now on. Who knows? So okay, there's that. So what are we talking about? Social media. It's hard to keep things, right? You don't know who's looking at your stuff. Ads are trying to track you all over the place, and all of your data is being stolen because of the terms of service. And so we looked into that. And then at the same time, social media is a bad place because you can post stuff. People are posting stuff all day long that is could be evil, could be mean, right? So it's very easy for things to slip through the cracks, like people writing stuff that includes hate speech, stuff that incites violence, people lying on the internet. Happens all day long, right? Even people in power. So it's hard to censor the internet, especially social media, because you got 1 million people posting stuff. And so even if you have 1,000 people at your software company, they can't check it all manually. You have to make AI models to try to track this stuff. But then it's a cat and mouse game. People are going to get past that, right? So what's the moral of this? So it's very hard, right? It's hard to sort through all the stuff coming in. People are typing 1 million tweets a minute. It's very hard. People are making 1 million Facebook posts a minute. It's very hard to sort through. Tons of posts to find all the bad stuff. And that's unfortunate. That's kind of, it makes sense that you can't, but it's still sad that you can't, to find all the bad stuff. All right, and so that's why you want to limit your social media usage in general. So yeah, this is a topic of active research in computer science, making AI models that can detect and flag things like this so that it doesn't get posted, it gets deleted automatically, stuff like that. So for example, here are some things that maybe don't even apply anymore after the election, but this is a tweet from Donald Trump, who if you read it, it just obviously it's inciting violence, and so that is unfortunate that you can post that kind of stuff on the internet, right? Especially if you're a person of power. That's not good. That's not good at all. And then he was banned, and I assume he's probably back on because he's now the president, right? So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but that's a thing that happens on the internet, right? It's hard to block things, especially if it's an important person. You want to see their stuff, and hopefully you just hope that they don't say anything bad. And then Facebook caught a lot of flack a couple election seasons ago because they were very wishy-washy about election information, because it's very easy for people to post things that are lies close to election season and try to sway people, right? And so Facebook, they got in trouble, kind of. They're we're going to ban political ads, and then still things were slipping through the cracks. And so the whole point is there's a lot of misinformation that's just very easy to get through. All right. and then they might have undone their idea for this in future elections. It's all kinds of bad, and so you just have to be wary of all the things you see on the internet. It's unfortunate that it's hard to censor things, but we're doing the best we can. Maybe you can become a computer science researcher and try to tackle this problem some more. Okay, so I think that's what I wanted to say about social media for now. Are there any questions about any of that? Any comments? Anything we didn't cover that you want to talk about? Because I like to have discussions. We're going to think differently when we log into Reddit or Instagram after we get out of class. On TikTok even. Is TikTok's terms of service on this page? I don't know. It's probably there if you search for it. It's like they're trying to ban that, right? They also have grade E, of course. Oh no. So look up your favorite social media. Yeah, I'll go from there. So I do want to switch gears now. I want to talk about Python just for a split second so that you can be better prepared when you're doing your programming assignment. This will give you an easier way to do things. So I talked about that go-to, that idea of go-to. If we go back to the turtle library documentation, so Python turtle, boop. There is a go-to function, turtle.goto or turtle.setPos, turtle.setPosition. You give it x and y coordinates, and the turtle will just warp there from wherever he was, whatever direction he was facing, stuff like that. And so it's very easy to draw random or weird-looking stuff as long as you plan out the points. Like you have some weird triangle where none of the angles are the same. Like you want to draw this exact triangle, let's say, and all these angles are different. You don't want to do that much trigonometry. So what you can do is, if you can plan out the points, you can just have the turtle warp to this point, then warp to this point, then warp to this point, then warp back to this point. That would draw your triangle, if you planned out the points like that. And that's what goto does for you. Okay? So, yeah, let's have an example of that. So that's beautiful. The turtle will respond to that goto xy command. All right? And so we know that the turtle starts out in the middle of the screen. That always is the case, just like the Scratch cat in Scratch. So there's a coordinate system when you use the turtle library. 0, 0 is right in the middle, and that is where the turtle begins his life. Right? And you can always print out where the turtle is right now and get like where he was if you moved him around. He always knows his current position, but he starts at 0, 0. Right? And so this will help you on your programming assignment to use goto and plan out the points. All right? Something that I recommend is just like pretend that what you're drawing, your little letter, is part of a rectangle. Because usually they all are, like some corners of it at least. So like, let's say I want to do my initials again. Draw an L, draw an N. So what we can do to make this easier for us, to not have to do trigonometry, is to plan out those points. Trying my best to draw straight lines here. And it's helpful to think in terms of like the width and height of your letter. So like just plan out like, okay, pretend that there's a rectangle that encloses your letters. If there's a rectangle, there's a rectangle. Because then like you can start with the width and the height. And you know where you can start with like a starting corner of that rectangle, like kind of draw and plan out your coordinates inside of that. All right, so that's my hint for you. Pretend that your letter is within a rectangle in some way. You can draw a boxy letter. It doesn't have to be curvy. That's fine. And then you use turtle.goto to like warp. Start here, warp to there, warp to there, warp to there. With the tail down, it will make a drawing. All right? And then, these are all synonyms, by the way. You can say turtle.goto, that coordinate, turtle.setPos, or turtle.setPosition. All right? Yeah, so like pretend there's a rectangle, figure out the width and height of that rectangle, and then start planning the points within there. It's like, all right, first turtle, you go to, like once you got your width and your height, it will be very helpful. Then you just need like one starting point, right? And then like based on the width and the height, you know where everything else is, don't you? This is x1, y1. And then you can easily calculate like, okay, this is the same x coordinate, but I'm going down in the y direction by minus h. Can you kind of see that? That will help you plan out these points. This is like x2, y2, x3, y3. And you just go to those in order, the turtle will warp there. Same with the n. Like, all right, start in this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner. Once you've got like one corner and a width and a height, you have the entire letter. Does that make sense? You can calculate. You pinned it down at that point. So that's what you need. And then you just start going to those coordinates. Go to that one, then that one, then that one, then that one. And like it will warp and do it right. All right? So yeah, let's do that example. Let's do let us do my initials round 2, but we're going to plan out the coordinates this time. And I'll show you how it's a little bit easier. Boop. Boop. I like this. This is a new feature of PowerPoint. You just kind of leave it there for a second and it'll make it straight for you. Yeah, I like that. I like that so much. Sometimes it's not good for letters, but this is a perfect situation for that. And then I want to make my initials. I want to make the L and the N. Something like that. This will not be to scale, but it's good enough. And here's the N. Doing my best to draw similar things. So, okay, we've got that. Like, that's what we want. And then let's start planning out stuff. So let's say, imagine that our letters are enclosed within rectangles. What is the width and height of our letters? We have to plan that out. I think we decided last time it was 200, right? 200 by 125. I think that's what we did. And then this one is also 200 by 125. And so there's, again, a rectangle, just like a little hidden rectangle that's bounding our letters. And then the space between the letters, this is, of course, this one's definitely not to scale. But let's say this is like 50 in between, right? That makes sense. And so, yeah, let's say that these are perfectly spaced across, like this. These are centered. And so, like, this is, for example, this is x equals 0. And so, like, half of that would be 25, right? Half of that is 25. Not 5. 25. 25 on that side, 25 on that side, just to like perfectly center it on the screen, kind of. And then, what does that make this coordinate then? If I also want to center the L like that. So that means it's like, this is 100 down here, that's 100 up here. Does that make sense? That's what we want. So that means that we're at negative 25, right? Negative 100 to get to there. Does that make sense? That's what the coordinate of that bottom right of the L will be. And so, yeah, just like it takes a second to plan it out. Getting the first one is the hardest one. It's like, all right, that's negative 25, then down half the height of the thing. So we want it to be centered on the screen. So that would be negative 100. And then from that, we can get every other coordinate here. Once we pinned it down, we can just do math with the width and the height. So that does not look like a 5 to me, sorry. It's supposed to be a 5. That's going to bother me unless I fix it. There. All right. And so, okay, what does that mean this one is? It's just, all right, it's this coordinate, but move to the left in the negative x direction by 125. So it's like, take this one, subtract another 125. So it's like negative 150, right? This is negative 150. Same y. Didn't go up or down anymore. Still negative 100. All right. And then that makes this one, it's just like, what? It was the same x, so still negative 150. And then we went up 200, the height of the thing. So negative 100 plus 200 is positive 100. See how it's going to be nice and centered? And then every other coordinate we can calculate this way. We can be like, all right, what is this one then? Well, it's this one moved to the right by 50, because that was going to be the width in between. So not to scale, right? So it's negative 25 in the x plus 50 in the positive x direction. So that makes positive 25. Positive 25, still same negative 100. Yes? You see it? And then, all right, what does that make this one? We know that the y coordinate is 100. What is the x coordinate? Well, it's 25, same as that one. Yeah? And then, what is this one? We know that the y coordinate is negative 100, same as this one. What is the x coordinate? Well, it's this x coordinate moved to the right in the positive x direction by 125, the width of the thing. So that makes positive 150. Yes? So that's that one. That's a 0. And that just leaves this. What is the x coordinate? Same as this one. So 150. And what's the y coordinate? Same as this one, 100. And so that helps us plan out our points. If we have a blueprint like this, like the widths and the heights and the space between and all that, the second we had that first coordinate, after that, we could calculate all the other ones. You see that? So it takes a little time, but this might be less work, honestly, than doing the Pythagorean theorem and doing tangent all over the place. So I think it's more useful sometimes to do it this way. And so let me show you this using turtle.goto now. Turtle.goto. Or set pause, set position. I'll just say goto because it's faster. So I'm going to open up idle. This is a rare day where we have a non-programming lecture and a programming lecture smashed together. And I'm going to say, you might have to reinstall idle if the computer is restarted, sorry. There are websites that let you do Python, but I'm not sure if they let you do Turtle Python. So let's see, this is lecture 15. So I'm going to make a new file, and I'm going to save it in a folder with that name, lecture 15, so that you can have it after class. And remember that you can't call it the same name as any library that you're using, so you can't call it turtle.py. You can call it like goto. I'll call it goto.py. That's just the function. That's fine. So, all right, how do we use the turtle library? We have to import it. If we want to use the turtle library, we have to import it. Import turtle. You have access to it. I like my turtles to look like turtles, so I say turtle.shape, and then as a string, you give what you want it to look like, and so it knows what turtle means. It also has like square and triangle and stuff too. So there's that, and circle. I want him to be a turtle, and just to prove that he's at 0, 0, he's always got his turtle.pause for his position, and this will just give back where he is right now. We can print that out immediately. So just to prove that he's at 0, 0, when I run this, so there he is, sitting at 0, 0, facing right, which is not going to matter actually this time. We're not going to tell him to go forward. We're going to tell him to warp. So that doesn't depend on direction. So all right. Let's break down, excuse me, a few more slides, then I can lose my voice. All right, let's break down this process. A good way to do it is to like leave yourself little hints, little comments, and then you fill in underneath them later. It's like, all right, what's my goal right now? I want to draw my initials, so it's like we need code to draw the L. We need to like, once we've drawn the L, we need to move across to the other spot without like making marks. Move to the start of the N, and then once we're there, we draw the N. See how it's kind of like leaving us little breadcrumbs to fill in later. Okay, so let's do the L. We have planned out everything. We can just say go to. So like turtle.goto, where do you want to start? Let's start at this one, -150, 100. Boop. And then like go to this one, -150. I've done something wrong. See if you can figure it out. -150, -100. Go from there, then to there, then to there. Turtle.goto, -25, -100. Let's just keep warping. I'll warp first to there, then to there, then to there. Right? Do you see the error that I've made right now? What's going to be wrong here? Drum roll. See the problem now? So the turtle starts his life with the tail down. Like we drew the L, but to get to the starting place, we did not want to make a mark. So we should have picked the tail up. Okay? Let's do that. So it's going to be turtle.up. And you see how he's warping. His direction doesn't matter anymore, which is kind of cool. Turtle.up, then get yourself to the right spot, right? With your tail up, get yourself there. And now, from now on, put your tail back down. Turtle.down. Does that process make sense? Like, take your tail up, warp to the start of the L. Now put your tail down, because now when you go to the next one and then the next one, then you'll start drawing stuff. There we go. Look at it. Any questions about this so far? All right, we're ready. We're ready to draw the N. Let's do it. I draw my ends from the bottom left, right, like that. So let's get to here. Let's do it like we would with a pen. So that means we need to get to this location, right? But without making a mark again. So we need to go to 25, negative 100, warp there without making a mark. So it's not just turtle.go to 25, negative 100. It's first pick the tail up, because right now, like, his tail is still down. Yes? So pick the tail up. Then you can go to the start of the end, and now we're ready to make marks. So here, watch. Now that it's up, he just like floated over there. He flew to that spot, and now he's ready to make more marks. That's going to be the start of the end, so we better put the tail back down. Yeah, and that should do it. Now we're ready to draw the end by going to all those points. So we already are here. So we just go to this one, then that one, then that one, and we'll just draw lines in between because the tail's down. So, all right, we are here at the bottom left. We want to say turtle dot go to up here, right? Draw this line, 25, 100, then what? Then down to here, so 150, negative 100. And then finally, we're down here, we want to go up to here, so 150, 100. Just like that. Oops, did not mean to click that. Yay! Look at it go. So are there any questions about why this code is what we needed to get exactly that on the screen? A little bit easier, I would say, once you have the coordinates. It's a bit easier than doing the trigonometry. So you might want to do that with your programming assignment. Unless you want a challenge, I highly encourage you to take the challenge, but this will do it for you as well. Yeah? All right. We're good with this code? Because I just want to give you some time now to try it yourself. Here, let me give you all this. This was my initials. I just want to give you a second because that's how we learn, right? Take this code as a guide and just take a few minutes to go and draw something slightly complicated using GoTo. Go plan out the points and draw something cool, like maybe draw a house. Boop. I don't know. Something like that. By planning out the points, like go there, figure it out, right? And then if you want to get fancy, like draw a door, draw a window, draw the window panes. Try to do something like that, okay? By planning out the points. Bless you. So, yeah, I'll give you a few minutes to try that. And just let me know if you're having any issues. I will help. And hopefully this will be a good jump start into your programming assignment. Let's do that for a little while. And then I can come around and help if you have any questions. How cool, you're figuring out the curves. The documentation page. So cool. Once you got that first coordinate and then a width and a height, the rest should follow. Make that blueprint. It went silent as my phone locked. That's crazy. All right. Let us, I think, just wrap up. Are there any questions that came up as we were trying this? Did we get a house or something pretty? That's all I wanted you to practice. So that's where I wanted to stop in terms of the lecture today. There's plenty more time to play around. Hopefully you've got something going. Keep it going if you want. I'll be here. But that's where I want to stop with the lecture. And I believe that is also all that I want to do today. Yeah, no new assignments since we had a programming lecture last time. That's when I gave you the programming assignment. So we are good with just the lecture for the day. So I am done talking now. The rest of the time is yours to play around.